Hi there, thanks for watching this segment of East Coast Weather Association. I am meteorologist Mike Griffith here, and we're going to take a look at the long range and what can we expect through the end of winter. Now, I'm just going to take a look at the GFS model. It's going to cover us through the next 384 hours or so, which could be through the middle of February. And what are we seeing here in the East Coast? Nothing but a whole bunch of rain, especially in the southeast here through the mid-Atlantic. Couple clippers could actually skate through Pennsylvania. Again, nothing really that big of a deal. As we go into this Friday, it looks like rain across South Carolina, North Carolina right there. That's what that green is. There is some blue here for some snow, but I think that's bogus. It's just too warm out. It was 71 degrees when I looked at this thermometer today in Charlotte, and my car thermometer said 66 degrees. I mean, it's tough to get snow down here when it's just that warm. And when you take certain observations into consideration, it always trumps the models. No pun intended. I don't know if you're a fan of our new president or not, but that's irrelevant. High pressure then builds in behind that system this Saturday, so it's going to be really warm and sunny out this coming Saturday. Warm by northern standards, so I mean it could be a little chilly, but nothing too crazy. Here comes our next system out of the Plain States here on Tuesday, February 7th, Monday into Tuesday, and it looks like it's going to be all rain for the most part. Again, it's just too warm, and this rain pushes into the Carolinas and Virginia, Pennsylvania. Maybe some snow on the backside of this system here as we head into Wednesday the 8th, but nothing really of note there. Some lake effect snows behind this system here as we head into late next week. Looking at the next system here coming across Texas, could spell trouble here for the Carolinas, for Virginia, and for South Carolina, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. This is what everybody's going to be hyping this up about here, a snowstorm for North Carolina. I don't think this happens, though. It's just the pattern isn't going to be supporting this. It's just too warm. And there it is. You could see this model image being shared over on Facebook by a bunch of different weather pages that want to hype this up. But I don't think that this is going to be a snowstorm across Tennessee and North Carolina. It could be in the mountains only, in the higher elevations. But take a look at this. This is the 2-meter temperature anomaly, and it is not going to be extremely cold. Look at this up here. This is cold. Down here, this isn't really much of anything at all. Look at the 2-meter air temperature here. And we're going to be above freezing most of the state of North Carolina except for the mountains. I don't think that this is going to be a snowstorm. I think that this is all just going to be hype at this point, and it's not going to be really anything to write home about. That system pulls away. It had the potential to be what we call a southern slider, but you need to really have a lot of cold air in place. I mean, sub-freezing temperatures all the way down to Florida. It's got to be like in the 20s for highs. It's got to be really cold. I just don't see that happening. I think it's just going to be rain. That system pulls away. The hyped up storm for the 9th and 10th goes away. I actually kind of bid on that. I thought something was going to happen around then. But right now, I think the next GFS model run is going to be rain. After that event pulls away, not a whole lot happening here in the East Coast. Just high pressure, warmer than usual. Maybe another low-pressure system comes along by the 16th, which is rain next week. So just shots of rain and maybe some Alberta clippers up there up north. No further south than Pennsylvania, and it all stays up there. Let me show you in the long range what we're expecting here as far as teleconnections and what we can expect through the end of the winter. Now it starts to get interesting. Right now we're looking at sea surface temperature anomalies here across the Pacific Ocean, actually the entire globe, but I want to show you what's going on in the Pacific Ocean. We have our active La Nina down here, which is actually a little bit stronger than forecast. It's not neutral. We're in a La Nina winter right now, and that just means for the East Coast, warmer, wetter, stormier than usual, cloudy, but the thing is, it's going to be warm. We're not going to be having this cold air Arctic outbreaks in the East Coast here for a while, and maybe even through the end of winter, through the end of February. And then in the south, once it starts to hit March, the sun angle becomes stronger, and it really warms up, and it starts to get to be really difficult to get any type of cold air intrusions, which is what you need for cold air in the south and any type of major storm system here. So a lot of cold water being mixed up by the storm tracks crashing into the East Coast here. And all the cold air, I should say, is locked up in Canada, and it's staying up there. It's not going to be moving to the south. southeast U.S. Now, with the La Nina down here along the Pacific, along the equator, and with the cold water up around just south of Alaska and off the west coast, and it's not a real strong warm area of water here off southern Alaska, which is what you would need to make a big ridge here in the west coast. What you would need was the ridge here of high pressure, and then what that would do is that would bump the jet stream. If I can draw an H here, that would bump the jet stream up, and then it would cause a big dip in the jet stream here over the east coast of the United States. This is what you would want, but what's happening here is just the opposite. Right now, we have what's been going on over Alaska has been a trough. It's been a low. So here comes a jet stream dipping like this, and then boom, it just goes like this over the east coast of the United States and giving us the southeast ridge right here. It could be a warm summer in spring if this pattern continues. It allows storms to go up into Canada a lot sooner than expected. So the storm track is probably going to be like this up into Canada. So that just means that all the warm air down here is going to be forced up, and it's just going to be rain for any type of system through the end of this month. I don't see any more snow for the southeast for the rest of this month. What we need to have is the high pressure blocking over Greenland up here, but that just is not here right now. That is not there, so the storms are allowed to go up into Canada, and we are on the southeast flank of these storm systems, which just spells a lot of rain. Not so much snow and ice. You could get something in the mountains, and the Clippers come through Pennsylvania, but nothing really seeps into the south as far as anything major. Anyway, let's take a look at some of the computer ensemble forecasts for the teleconnections next. Looking at the Arctic Oscillation Index forecast here, or the AO, or the AOI. This is from NCEP, and this is a way of seeing if there's going to be any type of high latitude blocking over Greenland that will allow a lot of cold air intrusions into the southeast United States. Right now, into the future, these red spaghetti plots are the ensembles, and they're kind of all over the place. But you can see through the middle and end of January, even in the beginning of February, it's been positive. And anywhere above this line, you're going to be warmer than usual because the storms, like I showed you before, can just escape up into Canada, and they don't really do anything here in the southeast U.S. Anything underneath this line, negative, is what you want. But the problem is that these ensembles are all over the place. It looks like a bowl of spaghetti here. They're not even in agreement. There's just one really positive, one way negative. There's stuff in between. There's neutral. Even neutral means that we're not going to be seeing a whole lot of cold air outbreaks together. Now, looking at the 14-day forecast here in the long range, it looks like the overall trend is kind of going a little bit lower here, but if you average this out, it's really just going to be neutral and nothing really extreme. What you would want was something to come crashing down like this right here, but the mean is kind of like right here, and it's not going to be that much of a big difference in the shift of the pattern. It's just going to kind of stay warm here for a while, especially with these sea surface temperatures being cold over here over Alaska. You got to have this be warmer than usual, and it just hasn't been that way. Let's take a look at the Nino index forecasts so that we can get a better glimpse of what to expect as far as the sea surface temperatures. So looking at the Nino index forecast here by the Climate Prediction Center, NCEP, NOAA, this is basically the government's forecast and their computer model ensembles of what we can expect as far as a Nino index. So in December, it was a weak La Nina here below neutral here, which is in the negative territory. In January, it started climbing. February, it started climbing again. And the ensemble mean here is tracking just over the positive threshold, which could throw us back into a slight El Nino. And then that actually stays through February and March, warmer than average, not expecting a lot of cold air outbreaks. All that cold is going to be locked up in northern Canada, just like it was last winter. I had to use air conditioning in my apartment in order to be able to sleep last night in Charlotte. It's just been kind of warm and sticky down here. So heading into April, May, and June, it looks like the El Nino stays into effect, and it looks like it even increases in strength again as we head into June, July, and August. So we're still paying the price for the really cold and snowy winter of 2013 into 2014, and it's had an effect on the last winter and the winter after that, which is this winter right now. And it looks like the trend is northward, and it's just going to be hard to get a lot of cold in this time of year as we head into the end of winter, and I don't think a lot's going to happen. I don't think we're going to be getting any major storms. I don't think it's going to be snowstorm after snowstorm after snowstorm. We had one in January, and that could be it down here in the south, and nothing really major happening along the whole East Coast. The stratospheric warming event that we mentioned earlier is basically forcing cold air over Europe. It's not so much over the United States. The warming position of the stratospheric warming, the area of the Earth that it covered was in the wrong spot in order to be able to have cold air over the United States. So instead, it's been over Europe. They're the people right now that have been enjoying a snowy and cold winter and crazy, and Russia too. And it's not here in the United States, but hey, maybe one of these days, one of these years, it'll shift, and then we can actually get that type of winter here in the United States once again. When? Not sure. Maybe next winter. Not saying that winter's canceled or over, but if these warm patterns continue and that warm water, or that cold water, I should say, stays off the southern Alaska, then we can count on having a ridge here in the southeast and east part of the United States as we go through the winter. And that is the long-range outlook as of now. Anything that you see out there on Facebook could be hyped up, saying if we're going to have any type of blizzard or snow, especially in the south. I am meteorologist Mike Griffith here for East Coast Weather Association. Thanks a lot for sticking with us. We'll try to bring you the most accurate forecast and talk about what's really likely to happen here. So stick with us, and we'll be happy to serve you. It's good to have you. Thanks a lot. Like and subscribe underneath here, and you will get our video updates. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, East Coast Weather Association. Visit us online at ecwxa.com and become a premium member to follow us, especially as we go into severe weather season. And, of course, there always could be something going on later this winter. That stuff always happens. And especially hurricane season. So if you're a contractor and you have to pour concrete, we can tell you personally when it's going to rain at your work site. We can tell you if you're working on a farm, how much crops you're going to be able to grow this year. Looking like a warm and hot summer coming up, especially if this pattern continues into May, June, and July. So that's pretty much where we are right now. Thanks a lot for watching this video. This segment of East Coast Weather Association, I will be giving updates on here. I'm meteorologist Mike Griffith here, and thanks a lot for watching, and everybody have a great time.